Right now, we're all on a journey of personal growth. Are you the kind of person who can learn from others' mistakes, or do you need to experience life by yourself to really have lessons stick? Only we have control over our personal growth, and we have the opportunity every day to chase that growth and learning. Think differently today with Kathy about learning.
Hello, my friends. Thank you for joining me again today. I'm Kathy Rhodes, and today we're going to think differently together. I've been pondering something, so I want to share it with you, and I want to almost externally process. Have you ever heard that term? Sometimes I internally process to learn, and that means I think about things, and that's how I learn and how I grow. But sometimes I need to externally process. I need to talk it out with somebody. So thanks for being my listener today. This is almost like therapy for me, because I know the more I'm going to speak about this, the more I'm going to grow from it. So hopefully you're with me and you're learning and growing with me here on this topic. Interesting idea here. I watched a documentary about George Washington, and actually it was about his death. Okay, so if you don't know anything about how he died, really he bled to death. I mean, that sounds so horrible, but really that's what happened. So he got sick, and who knows, maybe it was a head cold, kind of like what I have today. It was just possibly something really simple. But back then, nothing was simple in the medical field. So often to heal somebody, at least they thought that it would heal them, they would let out their blood. Bloodletting is that medical technical term. And that's what happened is he got sick, and the way I heard it, he was out in the rain, and then he came in and he got sick. I mean, hello, we do that, right? We don't have the right clothing on, or we are in wet clothes, and our body just catches the bug. So it could have been just a common cold. But he got sick and they called in the doctors. And back then, the doctors weren't exactly a healing agent. They weren't wanted all the time because people died when the doctors were around. Well, when you're going to let somebody's blood out, it's no wonder why they died, right? But during this whole process of trying to heal George Washington actually said, take more blood, let some more out. He believed that was going to heal him as well. Okay, well, let's fast forward now to 2024. And thankfully, that's not a practice anymore. Thankfully, the medical professionals have learned that bleeding somebody is to their death, not to their health. And also, thankfully, through the years, not only have doctors learned that, but they have written about it, they've studied it, they've researched it, and they've shared their learnings with their peers and their future doctors that are going to be learning the trade. So we now have this history that we can look back on and continue to learn from. A lot of life has history that we look back on and that we learn from. Technology, creating things like automobiles. Oh my gosh, can you imagine driving one of the first automobiles? The tires alone look so uncomfortable. Well, the roads they drove on made for an uncomfortable trip. All of this learning has always been passed down. And the next generation to receive that learning is ready to receive it. They take it and they grow from there. They don't go back to square one and recreate what was already learned. They take what's given to them and they grow from there. But there's one thing in this world that we don't do that to. There's one thing, every one of us, to some way, we do not take the learning of others and grow from there. We start over. And that's personal growth. That's leadership. Okay, but by the way, those are kind of the same thing. They're kind of a step process. Personal growth is the first step to leadership. We're all a leader because we're all leading ourselves. So we're all on a leadership journey, but it really does start with personal growth. And the reason that I can say this is because of me and my habits, and also the habits of my kids, but even the habits of other young leaders that I work with. So I remember back when I was younger saying things to my mom like, don't tell me what to do, let me learn it myself. Sorry, Mom. Sorry, Dad. I can imagine how frustrating that was, because now I hear it from my kids, right? Just let me learn it myself. Let me figure it out myself. Let me learn my own lessons. Yeah, I'm the person that doesn't like to be told what to do. So in other words, I don't want to take what you've learned in life and grow from there. I want to start over and learn it all myself. There's value to that, okay? Because then it really means something to us, and we own it. But there's a lot of disvalue, if that's the right word, in that, because it takes us longer to get to the growth. Now, I've heard it in my kids. I've been the frustrated parent, but I also see it a lot when I work with young leaders. The things that they're learning and growing are these huge revelations to them. But to me, I'm thinking, you didn't know that? You didn't know that you own your calendar? Nobody else does? You didn't know that you can put things into your calendar because you need to block time for it and you need to get it done, whether it's a certain project or maybe it's exercise? You didn't know that you could do that? I mean, that's common sense to me. But if I'm really fair and honest, it wasn't always common sense to me. I remember when I had that revelation. When I had that revelation of, wow, I need to take control of my calendar, and if I don't, somebody else will. I need to invest in my personal growth. What does investment look like? Well, it looks like financial investments, right? I need to put money toward the things I want to learn and grow at. Maybe it's buying a book. Maybe it's attending a conference. But I also need to invest my time. I need to put my energy into my learning and my growing. I need to learn how to take notes. I need to figure out what to do with those notes. I just came back from a really fabulous conference with the Maxwell leadership team. I heard from John Maxwell, as well as many other strong leaders in our world. I have great notes. What am I going to do with it? Well, I have to invest. I have to invest the time to review those notes again. I need to invest my energies on doing something with it. It hasn't always been that way for me. And it's not always that way for anybody. When it comes to personal growth, we are on a personal journey. And sometimes we're going to do things that our parents or our boss or our peers or our spouse, they learned a long time ago, but we just didn't quite learn from them. You know, maybe we're just not ready to receive from them. Maybe we do need to receive it from somebody else that we just listen to differently. But we are on this journey of personal growth. We are on this journey of replicating learning that other people learned a long time ago. We're not like doctors or technicians or technology people that are growing from where somebody else left off. We know the gaps in our life. We know what gaps we need to fill. We know what we need to seek. So, thinking differently about our own growth, recognizing and acknowledging that it's our own personal journey for a reason, and embracing it. Embracing it. So my friends, my challenge for you today is to think about all of those learning moments people have tried to give to you and you may have rejected. Maybe you were too young to receive it. Maybe it was the wrong person to deliver it. Whatever the reason is, maybe it was just your attitude, right? Whatever the reason is, think back on those learning moments and see what you can embrace and learn from today. But also go find what you need to learn. Go find, you know the gaps in your mind. You know the gaps within you. You know, even though you may not know where to find the answer, move forward towards something that's going to up-level you. It's going to challenge you to be better, to be bigger, to be stronger in the world that you're living in. My friends, choose to be great today. Go do something that's going to make you great. I'll see you next time.